WhiskyJason here. Whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany tasting, I think it's right this time, rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have Deanston. Deanston Highland Single Malt Scotch Whisky. Edition 1 of the Chronicles. Ooh, yay. So whiskey base number 188663. Over here in Germany, I paid 115 euros for this bottle because I imported it myself. I was very lucky. I did not have to pay any type of tariffs on this bottle. I just had to pay for the postage and so on. I was expecting a nice little letter here from FedEx, whoever. I think Deanston organized it that I didn't have to do that because here you actually see the nice little tax stamp has been covered, which means the tax has now been retracted, the alcohol tax that you have to pay, the excise tax in the UK, and I hope that someone paid it here in Germany because I sure didn't. So, what do we have? Deanston Chronicle Edition number 1. We have here whiskeys from 4 decades. Oh, when I say that, I have to remember what I'm going to share with you. Ding, 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 ding. I have here the Tomaten Decades number 2. So here I have whiskey from a refill cask. Is it a refill hogshead? Is it a refill bourbon cask? Is it a refill sherry cask? Refill, all right, from the year 1977. So first question of the day, what were you doing in the year 1977? I was 8 years old. I was going to 3rd grade. I think I was 2nd grade probably in 77. That was 1 year after America celebrated its bicentennial, 200 years of age. This is that. The distillery opened up in 1965, so it's not that far away. 12 years after this distillery opened up. We have in here from Madeira Cask. So from 1994. So what were you doing in the year 1994? My son, who's turning 30 this year, was 2. I think he was out of the diapers by then, but I'm not really sure, all right? So that was the year 1994 for me, all right? So then there's a barrel in here, or there's an Amontillado type of sherry from the year 2004. Ooh, what were you doing in 2004? I just became that a year before self-employed. All right, so I worked for 1992 to only 9 years was I really employed here in Germany. Now 11 years I was employed, and then I became, ever since then, I've been self-employed over here. So 2004, and then we have the 2011. Okay, good. That's only 10 years ago. So this is basically a 10-year-old whiskey. And I'm going to assume, making an ass of you and me, that the majority, 50% of this whiskey is probably going to be from 2011. 2,304 bottles. So we need 1,600 some liters of liquid, diluted down to 46.3%, which is distill average strength. Now, I was reading in my nice little book here about the distillery at Deanston. I was there in 2019. Roy from Aquavita was there with me. Food Quig from Canada was there with me. We had a wonderful, wonderful view tour of the distillery. It was great. We had a nice little warehouse tasting, fabulous. I drove up. I didn't drink much. I drove up after that to the Speyside, where I spent the next couple of days visiting distilleries there. But Deanston used to be a cotton mill. It's built on a river, and they used to have 8 wheels supplying the entire cotton mill with electricity. And then they switched over. They had one of the biggest water wheels in the world. It says here it had the largest one. Where was it here? Is it in the world? Or was it in Europe? Exactly. One of them, Hercules, was the largest in Europe, measuring more than 11 meters in diameter. So more than 33 feet. All right, so then they switched over to a hydroelectric generator, a turbine, and now they have even since 2020, even more efficient turbine. So after I was there, they switched. Now, what I don't really understand is if I were Deanston, I would really, really, really push the fact that we at Deanston are a green distillery, because the entire energy consumption is hydro, self-produced, self-generated hydroelectricity. They even make more than they can use themselves, and they feed it back into the Scottish electric grid, which is fabulous. I would work on that. And then you look at the facts and the figures. 2020, they were doing 5-day weeks, a little bit of COVID. 2021, they went back to a 7-day week, which means they're almost up to capacity of almost 3 million liters. They can produce their maximum. And what they did, though, in the same time, is they reduced the amount of organic whiskey that they're producing. Deanston has been producing for over 20 years now, since 2000, I think, actually. Ooh, did I get my facts right here? Or did I get all screwed up here again? What year did they start producing organic whiskey? Deanston, come. They started producing organic whiskey in the year 2000. Having started in 2000, organic spirit is produced every year. And they've actually reduced it down to only 10,000 liters a year now. Now, I've had the Deanston Organic at least once. I didn't like it, but many people, that's going to be a decisive factor for the whiskey I'm going to buy in the future. Is it green? Is it organic or not? And Deanston's really missing out, I think, on a beautiful opportunity to show how environmentally friendly some distilleries can actually be. Boom, boom, boom. And they've been doing this now since ever. All right, so let's go back to the whiskey here. On the nose, this smells a little old, but a little bit like a dunnage warehouse, which many people go, yay. And it actually smells more like a damp basement type of dunnage warehouse moment. So it's already tipped to that area of that moldy type of not yet really nice moment. So a friend of mine over here in Germany actually reviewed the whiskey. He kept on saying, this is like the batter for pancakes. A little bit of whole wheat pancakes, but like pancakes that have not yet had enough time on the griddle. It's got a lot of honey in here, a little bit of dried apricots, vanilla, but it's got also a little bit of a sour moment, like lactic acid sour. Ooh. And it's got a little bit of, for me, sulfur. Might be coming from that Amontillado or also from the Madeira Cask. Maybe prunes. If I go over here to the Tomaten Decades #2, I love this whiskey. All right, I would buy this any day in the week. Now, this is 115 euros. This is 150 pounds, so I think it's also about 180 euros. Would I pay more for this whiskey every day of the week? All right, this Tomaten Decades is fabulous. And then, bam, there's just this wonderful experience of old, great whiskey. And even the nose, this is so much fresher, so much brighter, brighter as in green fruit, pear, apple, very fruity. And this is not fruity. This is a little bit dunnage warehouse. There's a little bit of old, soggy wood. Some people love that. This is more my wheelhouse. This is not. That's my problem. All right. Cheers. Now, I must give it to this Deanston. It's waxy. I think one of the people tried to imagine if we could not have Kleinlich anymore, what could we use instead? And many people would say Deanston is a good alternative there. I do get the waxiness. There's that candle wax type of moment here, which is a lot. And some people would say that's enough reason to buy this whiskey. I'm not going to be that person. I'm going to be that person that complains a little bit about the tartness, about the lactic acid moment, a little bit of the sulfur moment. but also that prune, that grape, that raisin, and so on. We have a little bit of hazelnut nuttiness going on here, a little bit of chocolate. It's not a bitter whiskey. There's no real bitterness here, but it does go a little bit that herbal type of nutty, woody type of moment without, it's a soggy wood moment. Do I like this? It's a C whiskey in my book. It's a C plus whiskey on a very good day. Would I pay 87 pounds at the distillery to buy this unique bottle? Maybe. I'm going to give it a C minus for the value for money. Am I going to buy a new bottle of this for 114 euros over here in Germany? No, it's a 4. It's a D whiskey. The value for money is just not represented in what I get on the taste, on the palate, on this experience. Now, once again, I do notice that I'm a little bit in the majority here. Most of the people are rating this whiskey online at 90 points, which is a great, great, great thing. It's an average of 88, so there are a few people with an 82 and 84 and so on. But most people think this is a great whiskey because we paid a certain amount of money, because of a certain mouthfeel, because of a certain old school taste. But if I were to buy a Chronicle or a Decade, all my money would always go here for this whiskey for the Decades. The aroma is just happy place, and the taste. Oh, wait a second. I love this finish. The finish is an A. It's a lemon cream pie moment. No, I retract that. It's not lemon, it's lime green. It's a lime cream pie. I just love that moment here. Fabulous happiness, greatness. Here it's like, well, okay, good, yeah, but it was a little expensive. I have to enjoy it. We have some very, very, very old whiskey in here. Now, if I were to ask a few questions to Deanston, my first question would be, what are the percentage? Can't you put it on the website someplace? Yeah, 1 cask of this, 2 casks of that. Here. We have on the tune, we write down how many casks we have and what percentage they are. We know that. It has to be a possibility. Maybe the years would not be possible there. I don't know. The second question that I would like to ask is, how long did these casks actually were married? Was it just put in the mashing tun and then fill it up and 3 hours later it's in the bottle? Or did they have time to actually get to know each other, to be acclimated to each other? And it probably was actually at cask strength at the beginning, and you have to dilute it down with water, hopefully not just in minutes or not just in hours, but maybe over days. They diluted it down to the 46.3% here. And the last question that I'm going to ask is, all 2,304 bottles here, you're only going to sell at the distillery. I can understand. When will then the Chronicle number 2 come out, and what will it be? All these questions. Wow. All right, so this is a C to a C plus whiskey. This is a C value for money, C minus to a D value for money in Germany. If you're at the distillery, that might be something you want to buy. I would go probably for something like this instead. I haven't tried it yet, but it's that Distillery Exclusive as well with Pedro Jimenez. They have some other interesting things always as a Distillery Exclusive there. If you're at Deanston, eat. They have a beautiful, beautiful bistro, cafeteria type of restaurant moment. They have a great gift shop. Do the tour, go through the warehouses, enjoy the time there. It's not that far away from Glengoyne. If you're going to be in Glengoyne, you can drive up to Deanston in, 45 minutes or so. Do that, be there, enjoy it, and also if you're in Glasgow, it's not that far away anyway. So those are the 2 distilleries. Up to the north, you have to hit Glasgow. If you're based there, visit Clydeside, go then to Glengoyne, and go up to Deanston. I can highly, highly recommend it. Great, great place. So if you could buy one bottle from Deanston, what would it be? Or the second question is, what is your favorite bottle of Deanston? Is it Virgin Oak? Is it the 18? Is it something else that you really, really love from Deanston? Is it the organic? Who knows? Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for liking, sharing, subscribing, and telling others. See you soon. Whiskey Jason here. Bye-bye.